Hi guys, Rishi Sunak is not good at PMQs, and that has been demonstrated on a number of occasions. But he was having a particularly bad time ahead of the Chancellor's autumn statement. Now, the best way for the opposition to challenge the Prime Minister at PMQs is to force him to talk about something he doesn't want to, and that's exactly what Starmer did. The NHS and waiting lists are of course topics that every Tory wants to avoid, as it's affecting people directly. However, Starmer here connected waiting lists to economic growth that left Sunak struggling to respond. Have a listen.
Well, the reason he ignored the NHS, not only in his new pledges, but just now, is because 7.8 million people are currently on the waiting lists. That's 500,000 more than when he pledged to bring them down nearly a year ago. And the Prime Minister just claimed that this is all about economic growth. So let me ask him, if a labourer or a care worker is forced to wait a year for an operation, how are they meant to help grow the economy?
Mr. Speaker, obviously he's like, I'm not expecting that type of question. How am I supposed to respond to that?
Speaker, we're doing an enormous amount to bring waiting lists down. Enormous amount. Expanding patient choice, rolling out new community diagnostic centres, new surgical hubs, as well as putting more doctors and nurses in our ward. But I guess the question, Mr. Speaker, is when he talks about targets and waiting lists, I really just hope that the Welsh Labour government aren't...
And now he's talking about Wales. Okay, that was not the point that Keir Starmer raised. Keir Starmer talked about the impact on the economy, and you started talking about waiting lists. Now, waiting lists have gone up, so whatever you're doing is not working. So there's no point talking about, well, this is what we're putting in place. No, it's not working, so you need to try something else. But the point, of course, is the connection to the economy. If people are waiting up to a year for an operation, that's, of course, going to impact the economy because they'll be taking time off sick. If somebody's waiting for an operation, they have that operation, then they're able to get back into the workplace and be productive once again. But if they're waiting for up to a year, it can be something trivial, it could be something serious, it doesn't matter, it's going to affect their productivity. If they have to take time off, and as Keir Starmer pointed out, carers, for example, it could be a carer who's waiting for up to a year for an operation, or it could be somebody a carer is looking after, and this puts extra pressure on them. So there are a whole number of factors. It's not just the waiting list itself, but it's the waiting list impact on the economy. And what is Rishi Sunak going to do about that? Well, he couldn't answer that question, so we can presume it's nothing. So that was a good question, and these are the type of questions you need to ask. He wants to just talk about the economy. It's the moment for the autumn statement, but you have to bring him back onto things that he doesn't want to talk about but are still very important to the British public. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.